So let's talk about how I find inspiration for my designs. I pull ideas from so many different sources that if you're in a bit of a design slump, maybe some of the ways I find design ideas will help you. So while we work, let me just work on this dress for my mother. It's something she used to wear. It's become very old and very worn. It's no longer wearable. So what I'm going to do is take it apart and kind of recreate it for her. So I've already taken out the zip to reuse. I'm just going to pick this apart while we talk, if you don't mind. I was asked about where I get designs for my patterns, and I thought, oh, what should I say? And I'll tell you, I get source ideas from so many different places. It's unreal. Like everybody else, I find TV is a fantastic source. I watch TV when I have downtime, and I like everything. I'm a sci-fi person. I do like my sci-fi, and Star Trek, for example, has fantastic outfits from the original series upwards. Also, I love film noir, old films from the 40s, 50s, even the 30s. Some of those designs are absolutely beautiful, and although you might not want to make the entire outfit, you can pull elements from it that you enjoy. So TV is definitely a plus, and it doesn't always have to be live action TV either. I can pull ideas from puppet shows. I mean, have you seen Miss Piggy? Even cartoons. There's ideas everywhere, and if you know me, you know I'm sitting on the sofa with my phone in my hand, click, click, clicking all the time. My poor camera roll is full of random people wearing random clothing from random TV shows from all eras. So yeah, TV is a big one for me. Another one is also just architecture, just going out on the street and looking at the buildings. I'm fortunate that I live in a country that has a lot of old buildings, and some of them are absolutely beautiful. You go outside and look up and you see wonderfully designed windows, wonderfully designed rooftops, spires and steeples and things like that. It's wonderful. Let me show you something. This dress here, called Sweet Talk, is the second pattern I ever put out, and the back of it, if you notice, is a cutout. That was a window. That was a window from a building I saw, and I don't know why, it just screamed cut out to me. And then from that, this design grew organically. So it started with the cutout, then I designed the ruffle. Basically, it's two huge circles sewn together. I decided what neckline I wanted and the skirt to go with it, and of course the two deep pockets. And that's how this design was born. So architecture is always a good one. And even the paving stones, just looking at how the paving stones are cut up, how the moss grows in between them, park benches, how they're organised. The ideas for fabric choice, for fabric colour, for texture, for style lines come from everywhere if you look and apply it to what you can do. My past designs, things that I've done in the past that I've liked and thought, okay, that's not bad, it could be improved X, then I go and work on X to make that improvement happen. Or clothes I already own, I'll think, oh, that is fantastic, I love that frock, but it's too old to be worn now, and I'll bring it out and I can refashion it. So harking back to your existing or prior wardrobe is also a good way to get ideas. People watching, I do love to watch people. I like to watch people out and about and what they're wearing, how they're styling up their clothing. Always a good idea, especially if you're in a cosmopolitan area where you may have people from overseas coming over, because an overseas swag is different from what you have at home. And sometimes the way they layer, the colours they choose, the fabrics they mix, fascinating. Sometimes you think, oh, I wouldn't think to put that and that together, but it works. So people watching is always a good source of design ideas. Also, draping, or just holding up fabric in your hand or holding up fabric against the dummy. Holding it up. Sometimes the fabric will talk to you. Keep the selvage straight and let it hang. And sometimes you see what it can do or what it can't do, and you can feel for what it might want to become or be, or what it would look nice doing. So sometimes just holding up the fabric against the dummy gives you a good jumping off point for what a design might want to become. Pinterest. Now everybody with a computer and an internet connection and an affinity for sewing knows Pinterest. So many images from so many eras, from so many places, all there for you to view, easily searchable, easily for you to pin your own ideas on. It's a very good source of design inspiration. I tend to look at Pinterest more as for pinning myself now. I pin more than I view, but Pinterest is a very good source of imagery for ideas. You know, sometimes going out and looking at nature is amazing. The colours of the leaves, the texture of the bark on the trees, animals and the colour of their fur. Animals that have more than one colour and how those colours join into each other, like on cows or dogs, and even those can be style line ideas or colour combination ideas. Flowers, particularly variegated ones. I look at two colours on a flower petal and think, oh, those colours I would never have thought to put together, but nature says they work, and they do work. Let me try it. So the ideas for texture, colour, fabric choice, style lines, hem lengths, they're all over if you look. Now, I'm a big believer in lifelong learning, and I'm currently enrolled in 2 different pattern cutting classes, and the inspiration for this design actually came from those classes. So inspiration doesn't always have to come from the outside world, it can come from something you're doing right now. So how this dress was born was I was looking at drop sleeve designs, and then Charlotte School of Pattern Cutting, fortunately just a couple of days later, dropped a class on the very same thing, and the technique she used to draft that sleeve was absolutely fantastic. So I followed that, and she showed some designs, some vintage designs, and I was hooked even more into that look. I didn't have anything like that in my wardrobe. I still don't, apart from this design, which I've made a few times. So this is the style line here, and I wanted the sleeve to be gently gathered into it, and I love it. So this is how this dress was born, from that one feature. Started sketching, and then I thought I need something else, wasn't sure what. Thankfully, then Trisha from Creative Costume Academy had a class on added fullness, and I thought, that's the thing I'm going to add to my neckline. So you notice I've got some pleats here that fold in on themselves. That was the added fullness, and I said, you know what, I'm going to repeat that same thing on the skirt. And this is how this dress came to be, quite organically, bits and pieces of things I wanted to have. I wanted a nice pencil skirt, something fairly fitted. And I said to myself, it needs walking ease, but I didn't fancy doing a split, so I did a vent instead. If you've ever watched that program Mad Men, you'll notice the character Joan, she has a lot of dresses with skirts like that, where she has walking ease, but you don't actually see the splits, you don't see the back of her leg. It's a vent, it's a pleat, pardon me. And I thought, yeah, that's a bit of me, I want that. And that's how this dress grew from those 2 classes that I attended. So yes, if you're ever on a sewing or a pattern cutting class and somebody in the class does something, or the teacher does something, or you see something in a book, explore it. Explore it. If it sparks creativity, explore it, change it, adapt it, use it. I'm so thankful I did those 2 classes, and this is the first pattern I ever released. This is called London Rain, and I'm so happy and thankful that I was able to grow a design just from that jumping off point. So I hope you found this video useful. If you're currently in a bit of a design slump, post about it here, and maybe myself and the commenters will give you some ideas to spark that creativity again. If you could find your inspiration somewhere else I haven't mentioned, put it in there. Let's talk about it, and let's all get the benefit of your knowledge, because I'd love to see some other sources of inspo. I hope you like this video. If you do, you know I'm going to say subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Happy sewing.